So with the remaining minutes that we have, just to close out today, we'll share the following insight. So we all know, or we may know, that Chabad, the word Chabad, is an acronym for 3 words. Chachma, Bina, Dat. Ches, Bet, Daled. Chachma, Bina, Dat, which is the intellectual system, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And that's the intellectual system as described by Torah sources, Kabbalah, and so on. And the reason why Chabad is called Chabad within the broader Hasidic movement is because Chabad emphasizes that one's approach to Judaism and the manner through which a person can develop in his Judaism is because it requires the mind. And the objective, of course, is, like all Hasidic movements, to gain an emotional attachment to Hashem. But the methodology within Chabad is that one has to use the mind to do so. Now, the principle that this idea relies on is a principle formulated, it comes from earlier sources, but the Alter Rebbe and Tanya highlights this principle, and the principle is as follows. Mayach shalit al halev, which means the mind rules the heart. The mind rules the heart, and thus if a person engages their mind properly, then they can organize their heart to follow and their behavior as well. So there are at least 3 ways in which the Tanya explains this notion of the mind rules the heart, and each of these ways have their own subtleties and their own manners in which they are expressed and are implemented and employed, but we're going to do broad strokes just to understand these 3 methodologies, and then their application will become self-evident when we think about them. The first we can call self-control. The mind controls the heart in that a person can feel like they want to do something, and the mind says, it's wrong, we're not doing it. A person can feel like they're lazy and don't want to do something, and the mind can say, well, it's the right thing to do, so get up and do it. That's the most basic principle of Mayach Shalat Al-Lev, the mind controls the heart, is really a kind of willpower. The language out there Rabbi uses there is, the willpower that's in his mind can tell the heart, we are doing something or not doing something, even if the heart is resisting. This idea actually has many layers. It's not simply just, there is this component that it's brute force. We have to force yourself and compel yourself to do something that's against your will. There's an element of that, but there's something deeper to it, which is, you might say, resolve or conviction. A person makes a decision, I'm committed to Hashem. That's what I'm committed to. There's a resolve that comes with that. After a deep understanding and learning and whatnot, whatever it comes from, or as we just heard, because the neshama truly wants to connect, so a person makes a conscious decision, that's it. I'm staying connected. The way the Alter Rebbe puts it is, Eineni yotzei liyas rasha. I don't want to be wicked. I want to stay connected to Hashem. So I have this conviction. And once I have that conviction in my mind, then it's just a question of implementation. So the heart resists, doesn't matter. I've got my conviction, I want to stay connected to Hashem. So even if the heart is resisting, it doesn't matter. Come what may, I'm staying to my conviction that I'm connected to Hashem. Level 1, self-control or resolve, conviction. That's one level of Mayach Shalat Al-Lev, the mind rules the heart. Level 2. Level 2, we can frame it as this, raising your value set. Through one's mind, a person can raise the value set. The Alter Rebbe draws a very simple analogy. A 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, I'm paraphrasing, but a 3-year-old and a 40-year-old can both get angry because the car is the wrong color. There's one simple difference. $100,000. That's the difference. The 2-year-old, the 3-year-old is upset that the car is red and not blue, but the car is worth $1. And the adult is upset that the car is red and not blue, but it's just a $100,000 car. So what changed between when the kid was 3 years old to the guy's 40 years old? Nothing really, other than the value. When the guy's 3 years old doesn't appreciate the value of money, only appreciates car or a little toy, and therefore is upset over toys. But when the person gets a little older, his value set changes because he understands the mind, understands the value of money. Now he's upset about more expensive things. If that's the case, then we could use your mind to elevate your value set even more. I value family, I value friendships, I value relationships, and therefore the mind will say, if it's a question of money or relationship, my values have been elevated. So my relationships are going to take precedent over my money because I've raised my value set. And we can go even further. My highest value is serving Hashem. And therefore it's a question of whatever it is, my value set has been raised using the mind and using learning. So that's level 2 of how the mind rules the heart, is to raise one's value set. This requires learning. The person learns, develops an appreciation for Hashem, for Yiddishkeit, for Judaism, for Torah. Value set is raised, and things that you were angry about or excited about before become petty. The same way the 50-year-old, the 40-year-old isn't getting upset over the car because it's petty. His value set has been raised. So when your value set is raised, and now you value a relationship with Hashem, you value Torah, things that I got upset about before become silly, become petty. My value set has been raised. Next, level 2 of the mind controls the heart, raising one's value set. Level 3. This is the fact that the mind has the capacity to create emotions. There is out there a misconception that emotions are only true if they are spontaneous, if they're reactionary. That's not true. Reactionary emotions and spontaneous emotions are for children. A child has a spontaneous and emotional reaction without any thought or consideration and throws a tantrum. You get a little older, and your emotions, what you feel about, should be created by what you understand is right. By what you understand is right. That takes a lot of work. I can understand something's right. I can raise my value set, and my highest value is, let's say, my relationships or service of Hashem. It's not going to change the fact that I'm still going to get upset about the $100,000 car. So my value set can be raised, but it doesn't necessarily change my emotion. I can still have emotional feelings about something. But I'm mature. I raise my value set using level 2, and therefore I learn self-control using level 1. But then there's a higher level of the mind controlling the heart, where you actually create emotions. How does one do that? So again, an analogy. You have 2 children. They're waiting in line to go on a roller coaster. And the line takes an hour. Well, that's already short nowadays. It's a 3-hour line. It's a really good roller coaster. So right when they get there, they know what the roller coaster is all about. That's why they're getting online. They see how tall it is. Now, as they're waiting, one kid gets more and more and more and more excited. And he can't wait to get on the ride. And the other kid is more and more and more scared. By the time he gets there, he's deathly scared to get on the roller coaster. So what happened? What changed in the 2 hours, 3-hour wait that made the kids either get fearful or excited? What changed? No new information came to light. They knew that the roller coaster is 50 feet high, or 100, 200, whatever, however high it is. They knew that before they started. That's why they went in line. So what changed from the beginning to the end? No new information. They knew everything they knew about the roller coaster at the end of the line as they did at the beginning of the line. What changed was how much they thought about it. For 3 hours straight, the kids are thinking, my gosh, this is a 300-foot roller coaster. My gosh, this is a 300-foot roller coaster. And they're telling them again and again and again and again. So when you take that information, this is the element of da'at, where you think about it and think about it and think about it and think about it, and 3 hours later, you're either excited or afraid, depending on the kind of person you are. So the emotion was born out of the information, yes, but more importantly, out of the consistent thought about it. Consistently thinking about that information. That's truly what bore out the emotion. For 3 hours, the kids are thinking about the nature of that roller coaster, which they knew about before they got in line. And now, they're either excited or nervous. This is how the Alter Rebbe understands, and how Chassidus broadly understands what davening and prayer is all about. The process of davening, the process of prayer, the terminology used in Chassidus is hitbonanut. Hitbonanut is to contemplate, to consider. So you learned in the morning that Hashem is one, Hashem is the only reality. Very good. So my value set has been elevated. God's the only reality. So why am I angry about the color of the car? Hashem is the only reality. What are you afraid? What are you angry about? Or I'm nervous about how the business deal is going to go. Why are you nervous about the business deal? Is God not the only reality? Well, yes, my value set has been raised, but my emotions are somewhere else. And therefore comes the process of prayer and contemplation. Like that kid waiting in line to get on the roller coaster. Think and concentrate. It's not about understanding. You already understood that God is the only reality. You learned that already. You know it already. The information you have. The value set has been raised. And maybe you're even implementing self-control. But now there's a deeper challenge. To spend the time, think and concentrate. It's true indeed that Hashem is the only reality. He's the only reality in my business. He's the only reality in my family. He's the only reality everywhere. And it's the same piece of information. but you're thinking about it this way and thinking about it that way and understanding it. The previous Rebbe uses the analogy of visualization. So if you imagine the idea as an image, Hashem is the only reality, and you think about the image, and you look at the image, and you look at it from here. So what does it mean that Hashem is the only reality in my business? What does it mean that Hashem is the only reality in my family? What does it mean that Hashem is the only reality in my relationships? And you think about it and visualize it, and again and again and again. By the time that you're done davening, you're excited about it. And in this way, we achieve that not only do we have to compel ourselves because we're conviction that this is what Hashem wants, not only do I have my value set, but it might conflict with my feelings, but indeed, our full experience, our full emotional experience too, be fully and completely attached with Hashem in the ultimate vekus. So I want to thank you all for joining us here this morning at the Kinus Torah. I want to thank our presenters, Rabbi Malul, Rabbi Ariel, Moshe, and Will, for really sharing us with your inspiration, and I hope everybody's appetite is a little wet to learn a little bit more Torah, to come here to the Beit Medrash, which is open here every day from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's always available learning opportunities, always available learning to grow, to appreciate more the mitzvahs, to connect more to our neshama, to enter into the mind of Hashem, the thoughts of Hashem as we learned, and ultimately to elevate our entire lives in full connection with Hashem. Thank you. And a gesund and zomer, a healthy summer to all, one and all.